Today's special guest on the Hub has recently retired from football. Kevin, what have you been doing with your time since retiring from the Great Southern Football League? Well, Kevin, I've been doing the lawns, cutting bits of trees down, painting rooms, you name it, I've been doing it. Cleaning gutters, getting all the work done around the home that I couldn't do for the last 40 years. So
I see.
It's been mounting up.
He comes in now over the 50-metre line, and that is just skims the top of the players,
I reckon.
and that is a goal there to Ben Davis, and that puts Counter Bay on to 4 straight goals. Well, it was four goals at 1 point, really.
No, 4 goals to the Bays, 1 goal, 1 to Mount Compass.
Now, Kevin, you're getting older and older each day. What's your memory like these days?
What's the question?
Just answer the question.
What question?
You mean you've forgotten it already?
Sorry, can you speak up? I can't hear you.
So your hearing's not the best, is it? Have you seen a hearing specialist about your hearing?
No, I don't wear earrings.
Earrings? What? Okay, let's move on. Look, how do you see local football from your commentator's seat?
Yeah, I think it's a better game. I think it's a cleaner game. I think it's a quicker game. I think the players have got more skills.
Is it a better game now than it was, say, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's a better game.
Seems to be a lot of occasions where we've got to go through the umpire throwing the ball up again. What do you reckon we can do about it?
Ball's on the ground again.
Well, I suppose get the umpires to throw the balls a bit higher and the ruckman to get in and knock it out. That's what we need to do. Instead of knocking it on the ground, knock it out and clear. Now, Kevin, you don't like dogs. Why don't you like dogs?
Well, I don't like dogs, especially with Mount Compass jumpers on them.
Well, what's wrong with the mascot?
I don't like the mascot. Runs on the ground trying to take your attention away.
Okay.
He's a damn nuisance.
Have you got any funny stories to tell?
Oh, funny stories. I mean, I don't know that I can tell a lot of them because they'd have to be checked out first, I would think.
I see.
Anyway, look, there was one many years ago now. I got to go to a game at a place called Price, which is up the top of the peninsula there, not far from Port Wakefield. And I got there at about 7:30, I think it was, in the morning. I went to the car driver. The car driver had to go right down the bottom to Yorktown. So he dropped me off very early, and the hotel manager was out there putting the hose on the on the veranda, cleaning up the mess from the night before. And he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm coming to umpire the football today." And he said, "The football?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, there's no football here today." He said, "The local team's forfeited." I said, "You've got to be joking." I said, "Coming all the way from Victor Harbour," I said, "to a forfeit. No one's told me." And he said, "Oh, well, anyway," he said, "stick around." He said, "There'll be a few locals in shortly." So I stuck around for a while, sat there, read the advertiser, every bit of the advertiser, and then a few people started to walk in. Then there was a couple more came in, and a couple more, and a couple more, and then a couple of the blokes said to me that came in, "Do you want a game of darts?" "What are you here for?" I said, "I'm here to umpire the football." They said, "Oh, umpire the football?" They said, "There's no football here today." And I said, "Oh, God." Anyway, they said, "Come and have a game of darts with us." So I had a couple of games of darts, and they said, "Well, you might as well have a couple of beers, seeing you're not going to do anything all day." And I said, "Oh yeah, okay, I suppose I can have a couple of beers." So after a couple of beers, turned into a couple more beers, and a couple more, got to about 12:30. Then a couple more players came in. I said, "Has anyone told the opposition that we're not playing today, that we've forfeited?" And they asked around. I said, No, we don't think so." So the secretary came in. He said, "No, I haven't told anyone yet that we're forfeited." I said, "How'd the story get around?" I said, "I don't know, that's what I've been told." Anyway, I said, "I've had a few beers, lots of games of darts, nothing to eat." And they said, "Perhaps we can go down and play." I said, "Oh, you're joking, aren't you?" They said, No, we got the umpire with us, we should be okay." So down the oval we went, started the match. threw the ball up. As you would. I couldn't bounce it if I had. If I would have squirted out like.
I don't believe
It would have
that.
gone everywhere. I think about the 7 or 8 schooners that I'd had while I was hanging around. So anyway, the game went on. Quarter time came, and I was as sick as a dog over the boundary line.
Are you for real?
They said, "Oh, you'll be right. Stick with us." So they gave me I think it was a bit of port. They said, "Take it, have a bit of port, and you'll be right." So I did that, and it made me worse. So the game went on. They were playing the top team. It was the last game of the minor round, and I don't know what it was, about 30 goals to nothing at 3/4 time. I don't know what the score ended up in the end. I think they rang the siren early so that we could go home. But anyway, that's, I mean, one of the traps you get into if you're going away. What are you going to do when you're there at 7:30? The umpire picked me up from Yorktown about 8 o'clock that night, so I would have been at the hotel for 13 hours. Which is just as well I didn't drink all that time. It's just as well that they rolled up and played. But I mean, that's one of the things that sometimes of these funny stories that you get. There was another funny story, if you want another one,
Not really.
where it was in the mid-north town. I forget where it was.
I said no.
Now, but I know it was in a mid-north town, and I'd been umpiring at another place. So we get to this mid-north town where we had to pick up the other umpire on the way home, and he's outside sitting on the step. Freezing cold. Mid-north town in the middle of winter is not a good place to be. So anyway, we pulled up and we said, "What's the problem?" He said, "Well, I umpired the game." He said, "They reckon I wasn't too good." He said, "They wouldn't serve me." He told me to get outside. He said, "So I've been sitting out here for an hour. Every time I went back in, they kicked me out." So anyway, I mean, at least it didn't worry us too much because I was with another umpire, and he got back in and he wanted to eat, he wanted to drink, he wanted everything. So we had to go to the next town so we could get a drink. But oh look, I mean, there's lots of things like that happen along the way, and sometimes they're funny things, and sometimes you think about it and you think, I could tell another one about an aeroplane, but I don't think I will.
I think we've had enough. Well, Kevin, thanks for talking to us today on The Hub.